Ms. Underwood for skipping over her and trying to be unbiased here and making sure we have equal representation on both sides. Please, your next question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, who was the Secretary of Homeland Security on January 6, 2021?
January 6th of 2021 was that Acting Secretary Wolf, I believe.
Yes, sir. But you were not Homeland Security Secretary on that date.
No, I assumed office on February 2nd of 2021.
Yes, sir. Secretary Mayorkas, your tenure at the Department of Homeland Security has been historic in so many ways. You faced so many challenges and a really complicated threat environment. And at the same time, during your tenure, DHS has seized over 43,000 pounds of fentanyl last year alone, ensured the safety and security of nearly 850 million travelers in 2023, which was a record-setting year in air travel. You've exceeded your goal of new hires for women in law enforcement. You've worked to keep our kids safe by identifying or rescuing over 11,000 child victims on online sexual exploitation and abuse. And yet, you faced unprecedented, vicious, and personal campaign against you and your staff at the Department of Homeland Security from my colleagues on the right, and even a baseless impeachment effort. DHS is charged with work that is both difficult and essential, keeping Americans safe. And I want to thank you for your commitment to doing that important job and doing it with the focus and care and attention that we expect of our leaders in this country. Thank you very much for your service, sir. I also just want to make a comment about the delayed processing times for immigration applications at the department, which has been a repeated concern from my constituents in Northern Illinois. Every day, our office hears more news about the delay in DACA renewals, work authorization for eligible migrants, and concerns about the naturalization process for those who are eligible. And, we encourage people to pursue legal means of immigration, but we must also ensure that our processes are timely and responsive throughout that process. So last year, DHS introduced an update to the Equity Action Plan, and in the update, there was a significant gap between the annual naturalization rate and the annual size of the population eligible to naturalize. And so in that report, there were some barriers that were mentioned. So lack of understanding of the naturalization process, real or perceived inability to meet the English language requirement, as well as the lack of ability to pay application fees. And I'm concerned that this means that migrants from non-English speaking countries, particularly migrants of color, are especially vulnerable to pitfalls in our process, in our naturalization process. And so would just ask that you direct USCIS to take a look at that naturalization gap for English and non-English speakers, and also take a look at what's going on with the DACA recipients. And we'll submit something really specific for the record. But if you can direct them to follow up with us, that would be really helpful. I yield back.
Ms. Underwood.